217 Recovery Podcast.
If you don't make mistakes, you won't learn.
With your host, Cori Winfield.
You know how fish is bad is you can't put it on pizza.
And special guests, Justin Burke.
The thumbnail totally does not depict the movie at all.
Cori Smoker.
Maybe one day I can make it onto the TV out front too.
And Mitchell O'Brien.
He goes, "You recorded me while I was sleeping?" And I was like, "Nope." He goes, "Winfield did?" He got this terror in his eyes. And I was like, "Nope." And then he's like, "It was Smoker."
Got your ass.
It is the 2nd of December, 2024. My name's Cori Winfield.
I'm Justin Burke.
I'm Mitchell O'Brien.
And I'm Cori Smoker.
What up?
What's up?
It's the first time we've done a podcast together in, I don't know, since summer probably?
Yeah.
The fishing event?
Mini Moons.
It's been forever. It's been forever since I've done a podcast in general.
Yes.
Marnie over the weekend was like, "Let's do a podcast." I said, "Sure." We didn't. You got a little one, man. It's tough because like she's on this Betty Crocker thing where she wants to be Betty Crocker. She wants to be Marnie Winfield, aka Betty Crocker, or the other lady who went to jail, Snoop Dogg's friend, Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart.
She wants to be like her but better.
Just call her Aunt Jemima.
I don't think we're gonna do that, Mitchell. That's insensitive nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, if you're talking to me in my radio show back in 2020 or 2004, 04, I guess that's a better way to say that. Then yes, I would have been all over that. But I'm a changed man. I have a son now.
I don't know. I tell your wife, keep on going. I think she's better than all of them.
Yeah, she's really good at it. And so when she gets free time, like when Parker is on me sleeping, she's like, "Okay, cool." She goes in there and starts cooking stuff. Like she made breakfast sandwiches. Don't know why I didn't get one this morning.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
You didn't get one?
No. That one last night, it was good. And she's like, "I'm going to freeze them and put them in this." And I'm like, okay. So, yeah. And then when I get my free time, I poop. I don't know what I do in my free time at home.
Nap, put videos together, edit, write
That's
grants.
the stuff I want to do, but I don't do at home.
Build shelves? Look at that.
No,
recently?
that's me watching Parker.
Oh.
Yeah, got a whole new room downstairs thanks to my wife, which is cool. But now, we had the holiday, and I was going to do a podcast before the holiday talking about how it's so tough for people who use and blah, blah, blah. But every day is tough. Like, if you are looking for an excuse, it's snowing right now. I used to love getting drunk and look at the snow or whatever. Apparently, I like driving in it, too, because that's when I got me DUI. Actually, 6 years ago to this day, I was in jail for this. And I think I just saw it was snowing and I don't know. I was blacked out. It was crazy. And that's the scary part of it. That woke me up to realize this isn't a game anymore. And you're driving a vehicle and you don't remember it. Yeah.
Right.
I'm glad I don't have any STDs. STIs. Lucked out on that one. But I'm just saying, excuses are everywhere. So if you want to look at it like, oh, it's the holiday. And I used to, get really depressed on the holiday when I was drinking because it's a depressant. Alcohol does that. So I don't know. What was your guys' holiday like? Was it pretty good? You talked to your brother in jail. You said that was good.
Ever since I was a kid, Thanksgiving has had this supernatural negativity to it. And there was never really anything that happened on Thanksgiving. It's just somebody was sick, somebody was angry, there was an argument happening, something would happen, and this year was no different. I ran away from it. Went and did my own thing with my own kid and friends and had our own little family thing. But all the chaos still happened in my family. So, yeah, we had a fight in the family that landed my brother in jail. Oh! Yep. We had my father and his shenanigans, drunk dialing people, obviously. Yep. And then the incident that I'm just going to call the Brown Friday sale.
I don't even have a drop for that. I don't even know, Mitch.
Brown Friday sale.
The Brown Friday sale. So there was a... that's a good one for it. Okay. All I can say is that I'm glad that new daddy Jerry was there.
Whoa. I don't have a job for that either.
What? No way.
He's a repairman wizard and was able to fix the burst pipe in the basement where the Brown Friday sale happened. Yeah. And then they were able to clean it up. But that was the part of the family that I kind of would have wanted to be around, but then was glad that I wasn't because of that. Because they spent like 4 hours cleaning that up on Black Friday.
Damn.
That's why I call it the Brown Fridays.
Wow. That's a pretty crappy thing to happen.
Well, at least they were able to fix the pipes cheap with it being Black Friday, huh?
I don't
Yeah,
even
right.
know.
That's double time.
Like they got a sale on parts, maybe.
Well, yeah, it's sale on parts.
So I don't know. But it's something always on Thanksgiving, and I got to excuse myself from it this year, but it's like still happening and all that. But.
It's good. At least you didn't drink or anything. You didn't use drugs or nothing. So you handled it like an adult, and you chose not to be a part of what you didn't want to be a part of. And that sometimes is hard for us. I'm supposed to be there. I'm blah, 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 blah. And like if I go downstate to see my parents, if my mom's tripping or something, I have to remove myself from that situation, and I am deep in my sobriety now where I can do that well. Same thing with my, for my dad or brother, whoever wants to throw me off my game, I have the choice to either feed into that or go, no, this isn't my problem. Mm-hmm. This isn't my thing. I'm not even in it. I'm out. See ya. And then we preserve our sobriety.
Right.
That's the way I look at it.
And that's what I did this year. So
Good for you.
it's actually a really big part of my recovery story. The first 2 holiday seasons of my recovery, I chose to stay away from family. I had some very supportive family members that were, in support of my recovery, but I also had some very toxic family members that were very critical and in substance use disorder themselves. So my mental health was really bad back then. I decided that I had to stay away, and people were very critical of that. Some of them were supportive, but I look back and I wouldn't do it any other way. And like you said, like it's different now, but it's a holiday. I can choose to have a good time. And there are some people in my family that don't seem to have that ability. So I'm making decisions with my son to go and have a good holiday. And so.
Good for you, man.
Yep.
Good pivot. What about you, J-Dog?
Mine was great. I couldn't ask for a better holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. I went to my old roommate's mom's house for Thanksgiving with his family. I can't hear the drops, so I'm sure that was entertaining.
Okay, good.
I don't have headphones like the rest of you guys. But anyways, yeah, we went to his mom's house. We watched Lions game. Had a nice little meal. It was nice. I've known her for a couple years now. His family, like his mom and dad.
It's easier just to
meet his
sister.
sister and her husband. And they invited us out to go like fishing for charter fishing for walleye down by Detroit, out on Lake Huron and stuff. And then went back to his house. He caught a flight. I gave someone a ride on Friday that was getting out of jail. So that felt very good and kind of rewarding to be able to help someone out during the holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Because most places ain't open like that. So
Yeah, and they're not going to release them to just anybody. Sometimes
Right.
they're going to treatment. They went to treatment, so it's like, yeah, no one else is picking his ass up on Black Friday. So
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and that's why we do what we do. But that's good that because you didn't have to do that.
no, I mean, I could have took my 4-day weekend, but I mean, to give back to people that's trying to get into the program feels very rewarding to have that conversation with those people. Because I know what it was like when I got released from jail to go to treatment, the nerves and everything else. And I didn't have that someone that had already gone through treatment that just got out of jail to go to treatment. Like, I didn't have that person to talk to on the way up. I had my mom and my brother, but I mean, they were supportive, but at the same time, they didn't know what to expect, Neither did my brother went, but I mean, he fell right back off the wagon as soon as he got home, you know. So he didn't really know what to expect, and they're all kind of different. And then my son came up Friday night, went and got everything to do Thanksgiving dinner at my house, and ended up hanging out with him, cooking turkey and stuff on Saturday. Then when my daughter came back up, she helped me clean up the mess and just kind of chilled out a little bit Sunday night. So it's kind of peaceful, filled with entertainment. My son's a trip to be around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You guys have that relationship back.
Yeah.
But you smoker? Did you hang out with your daughter?
I did get to see my daughter for a little bit.
Yeah, kind of a downer holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about it. That's cool.
I just experienced a loss, and then it was also too just kind of more eye-opening on this illusion that I see my family, or that expectations that I had maybe just naturally put on my family. And then it was also, then I went down the list of like feeling entitlement. And so just, I have to be diligent of that and what I see and how I'm processing that. And just remember that, you know, the biggest thing is that I got to remember two things. Like, I can't use over this. And that I also like my behaviors. Because then I go into really anger, and then I want to go and act a fool. And my husband said he wouldn't bail me out of jail. That he would leave me there to cool down. And so I just I stayed real neutral. And because like of my attitude and where I was kind of feeling, I really just stayed home.
It's chilling. And death is a tough one, man. People act weird, and it's weird because you can't really tell someone how to act or how to grieve, and they grieve differently. Some people are angry at it. Some people don't want to deal with it, and they're put in situations where they have to. And I know, like, yeah, it's just tough, man.
I did have a good Thanksgiving meal, though.
Well, that's good. That's good. I had a guy reach out to me over the weekend too, and he's afraid to go to treatment. And it took me back to a day where before I went anywhere, like there's this person telling me that I had to go, or that I should go to this place in Grand Rapids called Pine Rest. And it was like not really a treatment center, but it was like
a co-occurring place, isn't it?
Yeah,
More
mental health, and that really scared me. Going to California for the first time, I was just like, where am I going? Whatever, you know. I don't know, maybe I was a little afraid, I guess, but not really. Not like it was when the mental health one, when I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going into a place and there are going to be people like talking to walls, and there was some of that. But it was still pretty cool. Like, there was still cool people in there, and you know, a lot of people in there for depression. That's what I was going there for. So it was a good thing. But I remember being really nervous and being hesitant. Like, I don't want to go there. Like, I don't think so. And especially since how I left California is this dude who definitely needed to be somewhere. Because there was this puppy and and he's like, no. He's trying to blame it his girlfriend. And I'm like, you mad at her because she called the police? That's what she's supposed to do.
Right.
Bestiality's
not cool.
You can't unhear that, you know? So I'm like, I'm out of here. That dude lives above me in this duplex. That's too close. I'm out. Nope. I got a drinking problem. You guys got all their kind of issues. I'm out. I can't stay here with that dude. So I left. So thinking like, now I'm going to a place where there's going to be 100 of these guys, you know, like what's going on? Which it wasn't the case, but to go to actual treatment center, and if someone's afraid to do that, I could kind of see, I guess. But at the end of the day, the whole addiction thing, a lot of it is about control. And we want to do what we want to do. We want to go where we want to go, or we want to see who we want to see. We're going to buy what we want to buy because that keeps us going. And most of it's our addiction and fueled by our addiction. So part of that is I'm not going to be able to drink. I'm not going to know anyone. I'm not going to have any money. I'm not going to drink. I can't smoke weed. I can't do this. I'm not going to know anybody. I can't smoke weed. Can't drink. Can't use anything. I'm not going to know anybody. Nobody's going to bring me home. It's way 4 hours up north. What am I going to do? Oh my God. Can't drink. Can't smoke weed.
I think
Don't know anybody that's going to bring me back here. Don't have any money. And I think a lot of that is that, you know, because if you think, oh, I'm going to go in there, there's going to be some bad people in there. No, you got, sure, there's bad people at the store right now that you pass every single day in your job, on your way to work, whatever. There's bad people everywhere. But majority of the people in treatment centers are good people. And I told them that. I was like, you're going to meet some really cool people from all different walks of life.
Yeah.
And from different parts of the state. And you're going to hear their story and you're going to go, that sounds just like mine. And you're going to be able to relate to those people and you're going to not feel so alone. So I don't know what is going to happen of this, but I just kind of said, look, to the person that was asking me, hey, will you help them? I was like, yeah, sure. But the only thing I can do to help them is I can point them where to go, set them up. Hey, get on Medicaid, call this, do that, call these people. Don't call those people, you know, kind of thing. He's got to want it. He's got to want to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. And that fear, sure, it's there, but you got to overcome that. And you got to want that change more than that fear is making you not want to go. And if he truly wants that change, and maybe he's not there yet, this guy just had this first awakening, I guess you could say. And I had my first awakening. I was in the hospital, and I still came out 3 months later like, I can drink again. You know, like I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready. No one told me about addiction. They just told me I was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
I always ask them too, like, okay, I know you're feeling scared of the unknown of going to treatment, but I mean, what do you really have to lose if you go?
Yeah.
Try it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I gave him bad advice at this point of it, and I'll throw it out there to you guys, but he's like, well, I make too much in my job to get on Medicaid. So where's your job? And he told me, and I was like, okay, well, quit. You know, like these hospital bills are going to add up. And that's going to make you drink too, you know, like seriously. And this is a job you could probably get back or find a better one somewhere else that's very, very similar.
Yep.
You hear that a lot, though. You know, I can't go to treatment because of my job. I can't go to the treatment because of my dog. Yeah.
But I always
my
say,
dog or my kids.
Oh, the dogs are a good one too.
Yeah.
I had a guy, he's probably dead now. I haven't heard from him in a long ass time. So he probably is dead, and that's what happens. But I was like, dude, he was leaving treatment. It was when I was working at Addiction Treatment Services, and I was like, you should really think about sober living, man, because, you know, I know the situation you're going to. It's an empty house with my dog. I was like, sober living, oh, I can't leave my dog. Well, you're going to die if you don't leave your dog.
Yeah.
My dog's been at my mom's house. Well, let the dog stay at your mom's house for another 90 days, man. Like, do some sober living. Like, hit the ground running with this sobriety thing, man. Change your life. But
and it also plays into the fact, you know, if you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of that dog?
Yeah.
You know, if all you're worried about drinking, you're not going to go buy dog food because you're going to go to the liquor store to go get more alcohol or dope. You know, it doesn't matter what your vice is in life. Your vice is going to come first before dog food.
Yeah.
And it's like these people just don't understand that, you know, and it's just like, dude, you got to do this. Or otherwise, your dog's not going to be there to even be with you.
Yeah.
It's going to run away to go find food.
But
eventually.
you can always ask mom or cousin or brother or whoever, can you give me $20? Leroy doesn't have any food. Okay. And then you buy him the cheap ass 99-cent food and get yourself a fifth and you're on the way. It could be another excuse. I don't know. But it doesn't make sense. And there are people that will take your dog or watch your dog or whatever, you know, and if not, I don't know how to say it, but there's apps out there too. The Neighborhood or something. I don't remember. I told our neighbor about it. She was like coming over here and being loud. Have you met the neighbor here? Over here?
Briefly.
She's loud.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name, but she came over. She was loud. I was like, what is going on in the lobby?
I
think it starts with an M.
Her and Cori know each other really
Cori
well.
Smoker.
Yeah.
You guys are buddies, right?
Like from back in the day.
She's loud. Do you ever tell her like, hey, inside voice? Yeah, you do.
what is, gosh,
I know her name.
just right at the
Well,
We put her on blast.
oh, it rhymes with my name.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was Michelle.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, she's loud. But she came in here one day and she was talking about this dog she's trying to get rid of or something. Somebody was here with me. Justin, I
Yeah.
you. And I was like,
I remember
go on this app. It's Neighborhood or The Hood or I don't know, some app where you can post stuff on there. And people like in my neighborhood are always like, oh, could someone shovel my driveway? Or I need some snow tires now. Or we're collecting cans to save kids. Or I don't know, something. It's always like, oh. That's where I found Bob the painter.
Nice.
But there are things on there you can put like, hey, I can't afford this dog. I can't take care of this dog. Does anybody want it? They will get the word out. There's ways you can do it. But again, if that's your excuse and you're holding on to it, my cat had to stay in a room by herself for 9 months until I could get her back. And I went for Christmas one time. Mom was like, you're not going to go see your cat? I said, no. I was like, that will scar me and it'll scar her. She can already hear my voice down here, but I don't want to see her because it was tough for me to do that. But I had to do that. I had to save my life. And I gave Nico, 6 more good years sober,
Yeah.
you know, and she would trade that. She would like, meow, 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 meow. She would take it. That's how she says that. But she would be like, thank you. I'm glad I got to die seeing my homeboy Cori sober.
Yeah.
I think she called me daddy, though, but not in the sexual way.
I believe that.
Yeah. And
I always tell the people too, like, okay, you don't want to go because of your dog, your kids, your job, but you continue to stay out here drinking, you're going to lose all that anyways.
Yep.
yep. Unless you're that one who figured it out. You didn't. It's not you. You haven't figured it out. Trust me. Yeah.
I haven't quite figured it out yet. So, I mean, every day is a battle. I mean, it just takes one poor decision, you know?
But I mean, that person though, that's like, and Mitch, you probably were the same way. Cori, probably the same way too. No, I'll just drink on the weekend. Like you start thinking of these plans of, no, I'll just do this and I'll do this. Like you like it's gonna work because I'm gonna make it work, and I'll know when to stop, and I'll just drink that one day.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You try to control.
Doesn't work. You can never do it. Well, I'm different. Okay.
When I first got my job at the hospital, I stayed sober for 4 months, 5 months. And it's when my health was starting to get bad, and I lost the job, but then I found work in a temporary position at the hospital, and it helped my health in my walking and stuff like that. And I stayed sober. And then that position was no longer needed because it was only during some construction. Yeah. So then I transferred to my other job in the IT department, and I liked it at first, and eventually I absolutely hated it. And then that's when, okay, I can do this on the weekends. Yep. And then just like back into it. And then that was my final downfall before eventually getting sober.
You lost that job. Stopped showing up.
Yeah. Sick. You know,
Yeah.
Oh, snow day for my kid. Oh, my kid's sick. And you use all your sick time and vacation time on. Yep.
Then it was like, Mitch, you coming to work?
That was funny. That was during COVID.
Nah.
The early parts, 2020. I think I lost my job in August. And I called him because they was like, we'll call unemployment. I was like, no, I didn't lose my job because of COVID. Like, you know, I was laid off at one time because of COVID and then brought back. And then that's when things got really bad. And then I got fired for, you know, being a shitty employee.
Yeah.
You know, being drunk. So so finally I'm just like, whatever. And I called them, and it took forever to get a hold of them, like days sitting on hold and stuff like that. But then, you know, you're talking to somebody and it's like, okay, I lost my job. And they're like, you lost your job because of COVID? And I was like, no, I lost my job during COVID, not because of COVID. And they're like, so you lost your job because of COVID? I was like, no. I just, like, we went like round in circles like 3 or 4 times. And then finally they're like, I'm just like, whatever, man. And then they started sending me money. And that was the worst thing possible.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I always said, man, if I was getting that money like that and I was drinking still, I would be dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
August to January.
Like that.
Drank most of it.
Oh, avoid everybody? Okay. Oh, but the liquor
Exactly
store's still
what I
open.
wanted.
Okay. perfect. And I don't have to talk to nobody. I can wear this mask too. Oh, this is perfect.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been the end of Cori Winfield. I would have died. So God pulled me out of that just in time.
Got real close.
I remember when I was in rehab, people were like, "You getting filed for unemployment yet?" I'm like, "Unemployment for what? They're just giving away money." And I'm like, "No, not doing that trick, because they're not coming back after me, because I haven't worked a job in like 2 years." You know, being self-employed, you can't get no money out of being self-employed.
Obviously.
Well, I mean, you can.
I don't think they came back after anybody for the Trump one, the Trump money. Because you're getting
Is Trump going to give us money again, Justin?
Probably not.
I didn't vote for him, so whatever. Got your ass.
Green Party.
I voted for The Rock. You smell what the United States is cooking. I want to say, just come on, man. If we can get him in the office, like that's all I want. Like,
Well, I mean, Jesse Ventura,
yeah,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
nah.
They
Yeah.
were all-
Well, Arnold can't because he's not from America.
Yeah, but I mean, he became a governor. And
He
that's
can be governor.
adjacent.
Can't be president,
Yeah.
but The Rock can.
I wrote your name in.
No, I think you.
Yeah.
I was wondering who voted for me. I was looking at the results. I was like,
President
"Oh,
Winfield.
hell yeah. It's going to be Parker's name. I'm already nixed that. Can you imagine? Hey, do you bring the president today? Wouldn't that be so awesome?
Yeah.
The president's
The
here.
president's coming. What? Who? What? Be freaking everybody out. Sorry, Parker.
Well, at least you didn't name him like Northwest or something.
Yeah. Cherry Bottom. Oh, there's some weird celebrity names out there. But back to
Yeah.
the job thing, though, and I think I've talked about this, and I would be surprised if I didn't. But one of the last times I lost a job, and it's a job I didn't want. And this is the thing, man. If you are in recovery, early recovery, and you just go, I'm going to get a job, pay these bills, and I'll be happy. No, you won't. It's not about the money. And the more money you have, the more you're going to spend on your drug of choice. So think wisely when you go get that job and think, is this something that I can live with? Is it working at the movie theater? Something I just show up and run a movie. I don't have to run the place. I just show up, do little, and go home, get paid, do good. If you can be good with that as you're working on your goal, do it. But to go out and get this job, to do this and do that, just make some money. Now, if you're a tool and die maker, you're making dies and trim dies and molds and stuff, you probably want to keep doing that. But at the same time, like figure out what you need to do. But if you're in this cycle that we're in, you know, I took this job answering phones at the newspaper. Yelled at a bunch because these, so I can't find my paper. I was like, did you look in the box? Like, God dang. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Stop throwing my paper in the bushes. I'm not throwing your paper anywhere, lady. Like yelling at me like I did it. And so my answers sometimes when the company didn't like. And I was getting $9 an hour, $9.25 maybe. I can't remember. It was something. I was just like, I used to program a radio station. And here I am answering phones. The old people can't find the newspaper. Like it was to me degrading almost, you know, like what am I doing with my life? And yeah, I was going back to school, but for what? I don't know. It was stupid. And I started on my bender. Like I thought I was good. I even told the dude in the interview, I'm in recovery. Things are good, blah, blah, blah. I don't think I told him I was in recovery. I wasn't using that term yet. I told him I was an alcoholic, but you know, I had 30 days sober. And, you know, he's like, oh, I know somebody. Because, of course you do. Everybody knows somebody. Mm-hmm. And when I fell off, man, like it fell off. It was probably just, hey, I'm going to drink this weekend. And I just remember waking up going, shit, what day is it? And I called him and it was like, hey, do I still have my job? The guy's like, of course you don't have your job. It's Thursday. It was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's 3 days. No call, no show. You don't work here anymore. I said, oh. So I can't just come in for the rest of the week. And he's like, no, you don't work here. I was like, oh, okay. I'll get on this ship then. And I lost my stars because like the people who did ship, man, like if you call them to say, hey, my eggs are broken. Okay. And then they ding the driver and then they get their shit for free. So like places I was delivering to, not talking bad about trailer parks. I'm just saying there was always something wrong with the shit. I'm like, I brought you exactly what you wanted. Like, what are you talking about? And they ding me. So once you like get dinged so many times, you can't drive for them or deliver groceries for them anymore. Which is a sweet little deal, man. I take the ones like 3 a.m. because there'd be extra money on it. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
all right, I'll go do that.
I did the DoorDash. I almost switched to Shipped
Yeah.
because I heard you can make. So one time, the Shipped driver and me were coming to the same house, and we were like started talking as we like walked away. And he's like, I used to do DoorDash. And he's talking about how he gets more money doing Shipped. And I was like, ooh. But I had like all the perks in the DoorDash. I could do it when I wanted. I didn't have to schedule. I got the priority, like high paying ones, stuff like that. So I stuck with it. But that was like the second money making thing I did in recovery was driving DoorDash.
Yeah.
So I actually had a lot of fun.
Yeah. The Shipped was all right. You know, I got to figure out Meyer stores pretty good.
That's
like,
right when they switched it around too.
Yeah.
It messed me up.
So that was, but it was easy money, I guess, at the time, sort of.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. I did Uber for a minute and that was worthless.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't pay for anything. Like you're like, wait. So I got fronted gas that now I actually have to pay. I'm paying for gas.
Yeah.
When you guys pay me back, I just pay the gas bill and then that's it.
Like half the DoorDash money I made went to gas, pretty much.
Yeah, it's tough though, but finding that job, man, it's very important that you like I said, get something that you can just kind of ease into at first. If you're like not sure what you want to do, if you don't have a career path already like laid out in stone, if you've been doing something for 20 years, like I was doing radio, you know, I didn't want to go back into radio, so I knew I had to find something else. But if you're a tool and die maker, or if you're a doctor or a vet, you're probably going to want to go back to that job again.
Yeah.
You know, but just take it easy when you do go back is what I would say, and just really lay it out, you know, for yourself of this is not going to stress me. I'm just going to go do my job and go home. But I think a lot of those people have different problem. They will go out by their drug of choice. That's like if you're a Hollywood movie star, you're an actor, and you're making $2 million a film. No thanks. I would be dead. You know, back in my using days, because that's the only thing I was missing was the money to go get more. And if I had access to it, like they were saying, the dudes, the guy from Friends that died, Matthew Perry, like they charged him like $50,000 for like $500 bag of drugs. And they kept doing that, you know, because they knew they could get it from him, you know, and he had tons and tons of money. So it didn't matter to him. He just wanted some shit.
Yep.
So like, yeah, I think a lot of those people go out that way, you know, because it takes till you don't have enough to get any more to hit that rock bottom, or at least start to chip away at the rock bottom.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned, and it's for all of us, you mentioned in there when you're talking about the newspaper job that you didn't like say that you were in recovery, said you were an alcoholic and you had sober time.
Yep.
When did you guys switch over into identifying as being in recovery? And I'll give like a example for like my answer. Is there was a couple times that I got sober and it was just me getting my shit together is what I called it, because I just knew that I drank too much. I wouldn't even identify as an alcoholic yet. And then there was like when I was reaching like that time going into working at the hospital, I started to call myself an alcoholic, and I knew that I had to quit drinking. But it wasn't until I got sober this last time where the program I was in started saying using the recovery terminology, and it was kind of new to me, and I didn't use it a lot still because of the stigma. And it was really when I met Cori in 217 recovery that it became a really big deal and a really big term and something that I really identified with, you know, in a community that I engaged with. How did that work for you guys?
For me, it was meeting Cori in treatment. I mean, I'd get my shit together, like you said, a couple times throughout my life, but I didn't realize I had a problem until probably a year before I got arrested. And then once I got arrested, I'm like, well, shit, I got to get my life together. Like, don't want to be doing this on repeat cycle. Like 9 months in county's bullshit. like I'd much rather go to prison than sit any more county time in my life.
Obviously.
You know, there's just, you actually get to move around, you know. It's still you're locked down, but you just be able to get to move around. And I didn't want to go to prison and find out what prison was like, you know.
Got
I
your
hear horror
ass.
stories about dropping the soap, so I didn't want to find that out.
Got
And
your ass.
showering with 20 other guys, just not my cup of tea. And
Got
so I
your
went
ass
to
in your
treatment.
parents'
I met
ass.
Mr. Winfield, and that's when everything just kindly fell into place. And he's like, no, dude, if you're serious, you need to go here, you need to go here, and do the right things in life. And like you said, you know, getting a job just to ease back into things. I got a little BS gas station job in Boyne City where they didn't sell alcohol. And that was great because even though alcohol wasn't my choice, I mean, if I would have probably sold enough of it, I would have probably ended up buying a bottle.
I wonder what that tastes like.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that stuff's
That's
new.
not my drug of choice. I can drink that.
That bottle's really cool, you know?
Yeah.
Because some people that drink alcohol buy it because the bottle looks cool. Like, they don't care what it is. Well, that bottle looks cool, kind of like the skull head. And, you know, it's just like, whatever. But that's when it really took effect, is when I went into residential treatment. And at first, it was identifying myself as a drug addict. But after a couple weeks of being there, me and you sat down and talked about it. You're like, no, this is how you need to say it. Like, you're a person in recovery. And you actually showed me how to use the words properly versus just doing what everyone else was in there doing.
What about you, Cori?
When I first got sober, I did not think I was an alcoholic, a drug addict. I really didn't think I had a problem. I was just 27. I like to drink and drive. I knew that was my problem. So I was like trying to figure out the ways, right, of like when I get done with probation, I'm gonna drink responsibly. Yeah. Well, then the more that time that I stuck around, I did start out, I was forced to go to AA. So that's where like my first 2.5 years of my sobriety is in AA. I started to say like that I was learning and I was an alcoholic because I had to learn like what I did that was wrong. And then as time went on, like I still identify as an alcoholic at times because really that is my main problem. But more and more like in the last couple of years, I've learned that I am a person in recovery because there's like the driving factors of why I drink and, you know, the behaviors that I did or that I still do. There's them behaviors that drove me to the drink, which then opened the world to being a drug addict because I do drugs too. Mm-hmm. I did anything I'd say I didn't mind being who I am. What I wanted to do was to just escape the reality part. I wanted to have fun. And I put drinking and doing drugs was more fun for me because it intensified it, right? And then it also like I was going places with it where when I wasn't doing any drugs or drinking that I'm working or or at home being a single mom. And I wanted to be out and about having fun.
Sounds like my sister. Hi, Kylie.
So you said,
Oh,
you
a
said,
text message about this one.
like in the last 2.5 years started, you've got like 37 years of sobriety, right?
I'll be 10 years sober on St. Patty's Day.
That blows my mind. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Almost 4.
So I don't know if she answered your question.
Kind of. She started to consider being in recovery like in the last 2.5 years.
Because it's more about not just being like an alcoholic. I'm a person that's recovering from several things, right?
Yeah.
The question was hard too because it's like
Why do you identify
the
that?
process of going from I just drink too much to I'm an alcoholic to a person in recovery. You know, because I see like how we all identify ourselves as being people in recovery, and that took steps of I'm an alcoholic and all the other stuff. But like you mentioned in your story earlier where you were working at that job and you didn't even identify with recovery.
No.
But you did call yourself an alcoholic and that you were sober, you know. But being able to live my life out loud in recovery kind of happened because I saw you doing it. And so I was just kind of wondering and wanted everybody else's idea of kind of how it worked for them.
I think, and for me, it was when I was going into treatment that last time too, because I realized, okay, I've been doing this shit wrong. Like, I've been calling myself an alcoholic. Like, I've been going to AA meetings. I'm beating myself up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was somebody in Bear River maybe said something. I have no idea. But I know for me though, it was like a student. I just started thinking, how am I going to do this different? I was like, first of all, and I remember when I walked into Bear River too, I was like, I'm done beating myself up. And I think that's when it hit me, like, I'm not going to be Cori the alcoholic. I'm going to be Cori the person who's in recovery. And I'm not ashamed that I'm in recovery, that I changed my life, going to live a new life that I create. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Why do I have to say I'm an alcoholic? No, I'm in recovery. That old me is done. I'm done with that guy. I'm moving on. And it was scary not knowing what I was going to create or what I was going to do, but I knew I had to do something, and just changing the way I thought about things in my own head. You know, I wake up in the morning, I don't beat myself up. Oh, I'm just an alcoholic. No, I'm in recovery. I'm living a different life, and I get to build something new today.
Yeah.
And it became exciting for me. And like when I worked at ATS too, I would tell people, you know, like they would say, oh, I'm a junkie. And they would say all this stuff to identify themselves. And I was like, stop doing that.
Yeah, all
Like,
that negative.
Yeah, if you want to, fine. But if you want to get on top of this and live different and think different, you got to be in recovery, man. You got to change that because, and I'd always say, raise your hand if you have, but anybody use drugs today? No. Well, then you're in recovery. You know, like, let's go, move it forward. You know, what's the next step? And I would say that kind of stuff to him to kind of get him moving forward, because it's easy to be stuck in, well, I'm an alcoholic, that's just what I do.
Well, my biggest part was realizing that everyone who I thought was friends weren't really friends. I think that was my hardest part about coming into recovery, was having to let go of everyone from the past and move forward and create new people to socialize with.
And someone, okay, I'll throw it out there to you guys. Someone who's an alcoholic, you expect them to go to the liquor store to get some liquor if something bad happens, right?
Yeah.
They're an alcoholic. That's what they do. Would you expect a person in recovery to do that?
No, I expect them to go to a meeting.
Yeah. I mean, it's just something so simple as just changing how you say it and how you feel about it.
I also, too, I think it's when we tell ourselves that, oh, you're just an alcoholic, right? We automatically go to all the bad words that go with the alcoholic, like that you're not good enough, you're this, you're that, you're a horrible person, you're not a good worker, you're a thief, you're a liar, you're a cheater.
Jokester.
Or same with drug addict. We go to all the stigmatizing words that people have put us down. You're nothing but a drug addict and all this stuff. So then when we all of a sudden we tell ourselves that we are a person in recovery, I think it changes too. Like,
It takes those options out. Like, I'm gonna go get some drugs. I'm gonna get a bottle. You don't even think about it because you're in recovery.
Yeah.
You've told yourself that all day. Last 2 months, last 2 years, you're in recovery.
and so then you start.
Something bad happens. You're like, this. It's not an option. And I did take that option off the table, I think, by doing that. And that was one of the things that I wanted to do.
Well, you've said multiple times, you've brought this instance up. You had a disagreement with somebody, you got upset, and instead of going to the liquor store, the first place you found yourself was at a meeting hall, and you stayed for 2 meetings.
Yeah. Back to back that shit. And then on the way home, that's when it hit me. I'm like, I did not one time think about getting a bottle.
No.
Not one time. You know, that's when I was like, holy shit, this is what it is. This is that recovery stuff, you know, like I finally turned the page.
Yeah.
What I like about it is you're not sitting in the negative of calling yourself an addict or an alcoholic. You're not ignoring it and kind of shucking the accountability. Like, if you just kind of ignore it and like act like it didn't happen. Being in recovery is like a positive progression forward. And I just think that's empowering too.
Yeah.
So you explain that, but yeah, I like it too.
I think so too, because I mean, look at our recovery community that we have. Look at the people that are putting the hard work in recovery and standing together and showing. And, you know, for me today, like if I didn't have my recovery after Thanksgiving morning, I wouldn't be sitting here. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have showed up to have a Thanksgiving dinner meal. I wouldn't have. No.
Yeah, and 6 years ago when I was sitting in jail, if somebody was like, hey, did you hear Cori Winfield got arrested for drunk driving? They'd have been like, yeah, he's an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. Today, oh, did you hear Cori Winfield? Oh, yeah, he's in recovery. Like, they're saying two different things.
Well, today people would be like, what?
Cori Winfield's in recovery? No, but they would be like, Cori Winfield's in recovery. And they wouldn't be like, Cori Winfield, yeah, he's in recovery.
Right.
You know, like they would before. And
we'll always have our haters.
yeah, there's people that hate me.
Yeah.
But I think they're just jealous because they don't know how to get to that step, and seeing us living a joyful, free, we're not being controlled by a substance or a drug.
Mm-hmm. There's more haters than there are celebrators, man. And you just have to kind of deal with it, you know. And someone said this a long time ago in treatment. It's not your, what they think about you is none of your business.
Yeah.
And the only way you can change how they think about you is by how you act. Mm-hmm. And like I said, people can't call me an alcoholic today. They can, but it wouldn't make much sense.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay.
That's what I was saying about earlier. I was talking to one of my recoveries, you know, and I was just saying, you know, like before I want to go out and start a dumpster fire, I have to think about my actions because I'm in recovery. And that's what people are expecting me to do right now. These people that aren't in recovery that know me, they're waiting for me to come up and blow up a situation. And so that's where I just need to practice what my recovery has taught me. And that's, you don't get to behave like that anymore.
Wait a minute. So I have to not drink and I can't start dumpster fires? I didn't sign up for that.
Okay, you can start the dumpster fire.
Well, we practice to do better to not light the dumpster fire.
Yeah.
That should be your goal every day. Don't light the dumpster fire. But we will end on that.
No dumpster fire.
Okay, no dumpster fire. No. All right, we'll end on that then. All right, thanks for listening. 217recovery.com is the website. And of course, the guy that's going to come on next is going to tell you about all the episodes you can listen to and where you can find them. But appreciate you listening. Thank you so much.
Later.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Listen to over 900 episodes on the 217 Recovery app that's free in your app store or online at 217recovery.com.